Hello and welcome. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, I'm going to be out for the next 2 weeks, and so you're going to be watching these videos of me teaching you everything you should have learned if I was still here. So what we're going to talk about today are transformations. Now, transformations are the idea that we're going to be moving a shape in some way, shape, or form. So there's a couple different kinds of transformations we're going to discuss this week. We're going to talk about translations, which is the idea of taking a shape and sliding it in one direction or another. We're going to talk about dilation, which is the idea of growing or shrinking a shape. We're going to talk about rotation, which is the idea of spinning a shape around one central point. And we're going to talk about reflection, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to find a line and use it like a mirror, and we're going to reflect across that line whatever image we have. So the whole idea of transformations is that we have a shape that we're starting with, and we want to change it, we want to move it, we want to put it somewhere else so that it's doing something else, whether growing or shrinking or moving, whatever it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the most basic of all of them, which is translation. The idea of translation is that if you have an object and you want to slide it along the coordinate plane, so just imagine any shape we have, you could put it on a coordinate plane. And then if you want to move it, if you want to slide it, all you have to do is determine how far you'd like it to move and in what direction. And when you're done, you've translated the shape. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to take the pre-image, which is the shape we're going to start with. In this case, it's this T over here. And we're going to list all of the vertices that we have. We're going to list all of the points that make up this shape. We've done that here. What you're going to need in order to translate is you're going to need these coordinates, and you're also going to need what's known as a vector. Now, the vector is going to tell us how far we want to go, and it's going to tell us in what direction we want to go. So you'll notice here you see a vector. It looks just like a regular coordinate, except instead of our curved parentheses, it looks like sideways V's. That's going to let you know that it's a vector. It's not just a regular coordinate. Now, the vector is going to tell us what direction we're going. So if you take a look, we've got our x-coordinate. That's going to tell us the left-right portion of things. In this case, it's telling us to move to the right 8. Okay, if we go to the left, it's going to be negative. If we go to the right, it's going to be positive. It's a positive 8. Our y-coordinate is going to tell us whether we're going to be going up or down. Up is positive, down is negative. In this case, we have a negative 2, so we're going to be going down 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these points and we're going to move it to the right 8, and we're going to move it down 2. And when we're done with that, we should have a shape that matches the one that we have here, but it's going to be moved over. So here's the process, and this is why I'm saying it's the easiest of all the transformations we're going to do. All you have to do is take the vector and add each of the coordinates to the coordinates you have for your pre-image. So for instance, point A, what you're going to do is you're going to look at -3 for your x value, and you're going to look at 8 for your x value here for your vector, and you just want to add them together. So -3 plus 8 is going to give us 5. And then we're going to do the same thing for our y value. 4 plus -2 is going to give us 2. So what we're going to do is find out that point A, when we get our actual image, which we'll list as A prime, B prime, C prime, so that we can tell them apart. Point A is going to be at 5, 2. So we're going to move over 5. We're going to move up 2. And that's going to be our new A, or A prime. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue doing that with the rest of these points. So we have B, it's -3, 6. Again, we just want to add our vector to it. 8 plus -3 again is 5. 6 plus -2 is 4. So point B would be 5, 4. Should be right there. There's our B prime. And we're going to keep going like that until we're done with our shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break, and I would suggest whoever's in front of the computer to pause right now. And what I want you guys to do is try to figure out what the rest of these are, and when we come back, we'll go through them together. Here's where you hit pause. All right, hopefully you're back. Hopefully you've had enough time in order to figure out what exactly these are going to be. So let's take a look on what we should have. So we have c over here. Again, we're just going to add. So 8 plus negative 4 is 4. 6 plus negative 2 is 4. So we're going to get 4, 4. We're going to do the same thing here. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. 7 plus negative 2 is 5. Again, with e, negative 1 plus 8 is going to give us 7. 7 plus negative 2 is going to give us 5. Negative 1 plus 8 is going to give us 7. 6 plus negative 2 is going to give us 4. Again, same thing here. We get 6. We're going to get 4. We get 6 again. We're going to get 2. And now that we have these points, we're going to plot them on the coordinate plane. So, point C is at 4, 4. So we're going to go 4, 4. Move B prime a little bit. There's C prime. D is going to be 4, 5. It's going to be 1 above. There's D prime. E prime is 7, 5, so we go out to 7. We go up to 5. There's our E prime. F prime is 7, 4, so out to 7, up 4. G is 6, 4, and then H is going to be 6, 2. So when we're done, I haven't labeled all of them yet, but you'll get the idea. It's drawn a little freehand, so if it's a little off, that's why. But what you'll notice here is that your coordinates should match, they should line up. And you should have the same shape that you started with. So everybody can see the T that we had slid over this direction. It moved to the right 8 and it moved down 2, and we have the same exact shape that we started with. That right there is translation. That's all you have to do. The other transformation we're going to talk about today is dilation. Dilation is the idea of something growing and shrinking. So, for instance, your eyes, I'm sure you've probably heard, your eyes have dilated. So what that means is the pupils in your eyes have grown or shrunk. And the reason that happens is so that your eye can take in the right amount of light. But if you've ever, let's say, went to the eye doctor and they've put drops in your eyes, it tells your eyes to open up to try to get as much light as possible. They're dilating your eyes so that they can look inside of them. You can actually see your eyes in action if you were to turn on and off the lights. So, for instance, and whoever's in charge of the camera in a minute, what I'll have you guys do is pause. And what I want you to do is pair up with somebody, and I want you to just look at their eyes, and then somebody else, whoever's subbing for me right now, if you could go to the lights and turn off the lights. And then at that point, leave them off for 10, 15 seconds, and then turn them back on. And hopefully, if you're still staring at this person's eyes, you'll see how their pupils will get large, and then they'll shrink back and get smaller. And it works the same way if you started with the lights on and then turned them off. You'd see the eyes grow as it's taking in more and more light in order to look at what's going on. So if you'd like to try that now, you can hit pause. If not, we're just going to try dilation. So the whole idea of dilation is we're taking shape and we're going to grow it or we're going to shrink it depending on what we need. So in this case, we're going to grow it. All right? What we want to do for dilation is the same thing as before. We want to list our pre-image. So we've got our coordinates for our pre-image. In this case, it's x, y, and z. Those are our points for this triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to need a scale factor. So you'll notice I've written in the scale factor here as 2. What that means is we're going to try to double the size of this shape. So any number larger than 1 means your shape is going to grow. Any number smaller than 1 means your shape is going to shrink. If your scale factor was exactly 1, it means your shape is going to stay the exact same size. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these coordinates, and instead of adding like we did with translation, we're going to multiply by the scale factor. So you're going to take a look at your x values here. We have -1, -1, and we're going to multiply them. So -1 times 2 is -2, so we're going to get -2, -2. We're going to do the same thing with the y value. 2 times -2 is -4. 2 times -4 is -8. And now our final value, z, 2 times -5 is -10. -2 times 2 is going to give us -4. Those are our 3 new coordinates. So that's our new image. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to plot those points. We'll connect the dots, and you'll see we're going to get a shape that's similar. It's not going to be the same exact shape, but it'll look like it is. It's just going to look like it's been grown. It's going to expand. So -2, -2, we plot that point. That's our new x, or x prime. Y prime is going to be -4, -8. So we go -4 and -8 for 8 right here. That's our y prime. And then z, -10, -4. So we're going to go out 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's our -10. We're going to go down to -4. There's our z prime. So now that we have our 3 points, we're going to connect those points together. And what you'll notice is that you have the exact same shape, but it's been expanded, it's been grown, and that's our new image. A little larger than before, in fact, twice the size. So that's translation and dilation. If you have any other questions, you may want to play the tape back, try to figure out exactly what's going on. If that's still not working, I should be in soon. We can go through it during extra help. I'll let you know exactly when I'm planning on staying. Until then, I'll see you next time.